anybody to assume that radio is going to die out, it's a little preemptive. It's like early. To be honest, it is the only free medium for the population at large to access.
रेडियो इज़ लाइक रीडिंग अ बुक. जैसे आप अपने कैरेक्टर्स की और उस दुनिया में खुद रंग भरते हैं ना कि इट इज़ अप टू मी हाउ आई वांट टू विजुअलाइज दैट रूम. रेडियो हैड दैट मिस्ट्री टू इट.
You don't need a smartphone. You can get an old transistor and tune into, all the FMs. You can get an old phone which had that capability and tune in. You can stick an antenna and you can actually listen. So that's the beauty of radio. Our listeners who call us, they just want somebody to talk to.
Do you think you chose this life or this life chose you?
Humility is something I learned later on in life. When I was young, I was arrogant. I was full of myself. I think as you get older, you realize that you can definitely be more humble. Humility is it's something that comes with as a tough pill.
People who think feminism is a bad word and they think कि पता नहीं क्या बात की जा रही है पाकिस्तान के ख़ानदानी निज़ाम को, हमारी सोसाइटी को, हमारे सोशल फैब्रिक को बड़ा ख़तरा है.
It's a very different thing to allow a woman to succeed and to want them to succeed and to want to cheer them on. औरतों को educate करके workforce में नहीं डाला है.
जितने polarized हम आज हैं शायद हम कभी भी नहीं थे सारा. We are also very intolerant towards a conflicting or an opposite view. Hello and welcome to another candid conversation with me, Sidra Iqbal. उम्मीद करती हूँ कि आपको हमारी ये सीरीज़ पसंद आ रही होगी बिकॉज आई एम रीडिंग ईच एंड एवरी वन ऑफ़ योर रिव्यूज़ और जो कमेंट्स आप छोड़ते हैं ख़ास तौर पे मुझे पता लगता है कि कौन सी बात आपके दिल को छू गई. व्हाट इज़ इट दैट यू लाइक लिसनिंग अबाउट, किन चीज़ों के बारे में आप क्यूरियस हैं. एंड दैट इज़ $1 million क्वेश्चन इफ़ यू रियली आस्क मी कि आज के दौर में जब इतना सारा कंटेंट बनाया जा रहा है तो हम किसको सुन रहे हैं, क्यों सुन रहे हैं और कब सुन रहे हैं. ख़ास तौर पे अगर पाकिस्तान में रेडियो की बात की जाए, 90s में FM रेडियोज़ मेड अ कम बैक और अस्सलाम वालेकुम पाकिस्तान की लाइन हम सबको याद है. लेकिन उसके बाद से लिसनरशिप बहुत डाइवर्स हुई. रेडियो सेट्स के बजाय रेडियो को हमने अपने मोबाइल फ़ोन पे सुना और लेट नाइट शोज़ का एक अलग ही आवर था जिससे बहुत सारे लोग पॉपुलर हुए. कई आवाज़ों के हम गिरविदा हुए. लेकिन आज रेडियो लिसनरशिप क्या मायने रखती है जबकि दौर यूट्यूब का है, स्पॉटिफाई का है, एल्गोरिदम्स बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग हैं. आपने कोई एक गाना, कोई एक तर्ज, कोई एक जॉनरा सुना तो ख़ुद ब खुद आपको चीज़ें सजेस्ट करने लग जाता है. सो लेट्स फाइंड आउट मोर अबाउट दैट, स्पेशली व्हाट इज़ पाकिस्तान लिसनिंग टू. आज मेरी मेहमान कम्स फ्रॉम अ फैमिली ऑफ क्रिएटिव्स. चाहे एडवर्टाइजिंग की बात करें, टेलीविज़न की बात करें, बल्कि NTM के ज़माने से बात करें जब प्राइवेट प्रोडक्शंस को पाकिस्तान में मुतारिफ़ कराया गया एज अ सेपरेट चैनल. सो ऑफ कोर्स एवरीबडी इज़ अवेयर ऑफ ताहिर खान. और मैं अक्सर ये सोचती थी कि अगर आपके सामने इतना बड़ा लैंडस्केप हो, इतना बड़ा कैनवस हो कि आप ड्रामा प्रोडक्शन में जा सकते हैं, आप एडवर्टाइजिंग में जा सकते हैं, व्हाई वुड अ यंग पर्सन चूज़ रेडियो. और यही मेरा पहला सवाल होगा मेरी आज की मेहमान से. हमारे साथ मौजूद हैं सारा ताहिर खान, द CEO ऑफ FM 91 Radio 1. लेट्स स्पीक टू हर. अस्सलाम वालेकुम सारा.
Assalamu alaikum.
हाउ आर यू?
I'm okay.
सबसे
Very
पहले
impressed with your ability to speak.
थैंक यू सो
माशाल्लाह
मच.
से.
एंड आई थिंक यू हैव ऑफ कोर्स योर फैमिली हैज़ अ बिग पार्ट टू प्ले इन दैट. लेकिन बहुत कम लोग जानते हैं कि मैंने एक छोटा सा स्टंट रेडियो पे भी किया है एंड द ओनली रेडियो आई हैव एवर बीन एफिलिएटेड विद इज़ Radio 1 FM 91.
Yes.
प्लीज़ टेल मी सारा, जब आपके सामने ये डिसीजन था कि इंटरफ्लो भी है, TV1, News 1, व्हाई डिड यू चूज़ Radio 1?
So Radio 1, which is now called FM 91 only, came before TV1. And I was working at Interflow in production and I thought कि चले मैं 1-2 महीने के लिए जाकर ये try करती हूँ. I love music. I love anything to do with music. So I thought it would be just a fun internship. And, I joined as a production manager and I just ended up enjoying it so much that I stayed on forever.
और मैं आपको बताऊं, हम जब रेडियो जाते थे, द फर्स्ट थिंग आई पिक्ड ऑन वाज एक साइन लगा होता था, मोर म्यूजिक लेस टॉक. सारा, हैज़ दैट चेंज्ड?
I have tried to make my RJs understand that more music, less talk. But, in this day and age when you have the Spotifys and you have all of these, technologies, I think more talk and less music is becoming a little bit more of a thing that radio can provide. So at some point we had turned into talk radio because we found out कि आपकी interaction लोगों के साथ ज़्यादा होती है जब आप लोगों को reason दें. We had a psychologist on board, we had a Waqar Zaka on board, we had people who would like to talk to people, and we realized कि लोग respond करते हैं और लोगों को actually एक platform चाहिए जिसमें वो बात कर सकें लोगों से, interact कर सकें, companionship हो उनकी. तो अब हम I think we try to do a mix. रात को ज़रा टॉक रेडियो होता है, दिन में ज़रा म्यूज़िक होती है. जैसे कि दिन में लोग यहाँ से वहाँ जा रहे होते हैं, जल्दी में होते हैं, दे वांट टू कीप इट लाइक म्यूज़िक सुनो, अपने शायद फेवरेट आरजे की बात सुनो, जानो कि हो क्या रहा है क्या नहीं हो रहा है. फिर रात को ज़रा टाइम मिलता है, टीवी से अलग होते हैं. कुछ यंगर जनरेशन एटलीस्ट जो पहले होती थी कॉलेज गोइंग चिल्ड्रन, वो हमें बहुत कॉल करते थे, अब भी करते हैं डीनो के शो में. But yes, that's also what the research from Group M and other organizations suggests.
आपको क्या लगता है कि रेडियो का फ्यूचर क्या है? क्योंकि ख़ास तौर पे लोग कहते हैं कि जी अब सोशल मीडिया का ज़माना है, टिकटॉक इन्फ्लुएंसर्स हैं, बट इवन इन सिटीज़ लाइक दुबई वी सी के द आरजेज आर द रियल सेलिब्रिटीज़ देयर. Will that ever be the case in Pakistan?
So there's two things in Pakistan. But there's two things to understand. Radio to date in the world, despite all the technologies in places like the US and places like China and Japan and Dubai, it hasn't gone anywhere. It's still there. Yeah. It's still an integral part of the communication system or ecosystem, let's say. So for anybody to assume that radio is going to die out, it's a little preemptive. It's like early. I think maybe in the next 20 years it may evolve. But for now, it is here to stay. And, to be honest, it is the only free medium for the population at large to access. So shutting it down, letting it die, restraining it, restricting it is unfair to the population. If you look in rural areas, that's your free communication that the government can use, that NGOs can use, that politicians can use, that educational, it's free. And you don't need to have an expensive technology to harness to be able to get access to that. You don't need a smartphone. You can get an old transistor and tune into all the FMs. You can get an old phone which had that capability and tune in. You can stick an antenna and you can actually listen. So that's the beauty of radio. And now you can listen to it from all over the world on the net also. The other technologies, they'll keep evolving. There'll be algorithms. They may limit you. They will not educate you. I mean, of course, there'll be podcasts and other such things which you can pick and choose, which is amazing. But radio, I feel, will live until there's an interest in music, until there's an interest in expression, until there's an interest in having somebody to talk to. A lot of our listeners who call us, they just want somebody to talk to. And वो हॉटलाइन होगी तो एक्सेसिबल होगा, मगर अगर आपको रेडियो पर एक होस्ट मिल रहा है जो आपसे बातें करने के लिए आपके रिस्पॉन्ड कर रहा है, तो आप क्यों नहीं करेंगे? AI can't necessarily give you that at this point, मे बी आगे जाकर, बट फॉर नाउ अगर आपके पास एक लाइव ह्यूमन है, there's nothing that can compare to that.
Absolutely. Sarah, to me radio is like reading a book. जैसे आप अपने कैरेक्टर्स की और उस दुनिया में खुद रंग भरते हैं ना कि it is up to me how I want to visualize that room. Radio had that mystery to it. लेकिन आज जब हम देखते हैं कि सोशल मीडिया का ज़माना है, RJs have their own following, सबके सोशल मीडिया पोर्टल्स हैं, sometimes when they're going live with their show, तो वो थोड़ी सी बात अपने सोशल मीडिया पे भी करते हैं to get people to sort of, plug into their show. Do you think it's taking away the mystery of radio?
This is a new generation. I don't think they're looking for that kind of mystery anymore. I think they're looking for interaction. Yes, every now and then there'll be an RJ, and we do have those who don't go on social media, who just play music for the sake of playing music, and that's, let's say, somebody like Arif Abrar. His show happens on Sundays. He doesn't go on any social media. He doesn't, care for the followers. He is doing it purely for the music, and his music is fantastic. And then you have Naveen Waqar, who's like, she's hosting a morning show, but she's a celebrity. People want to hear her, see her, interact with her. They're getting access to her. So, there's different likes and dislikes for people. And in this day and age, you can't say कि नहीं छुपा कर रखो इन RJs को, because लोग कहते हैं कि यार आपके पास सब सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म्स हैं तो आप ये क्यों कर रहे हैं? एंड आपने अपनी बात आगे भी बढ़ानी है. Like I said, because of all these technologies, radio has suffered, right? It's not the one way of communicating. Now it's one of many. So you need to utilize all of those to get your message across. Radio is support for TV in a way. Social media has taken over, so it's a support, I guess, communication platform, I suppose. But yeah, you need all of it to speak to your people or to your audience. They want everything. If you look at the research, even abroad, when they're watching TV, they'll have 3 screens open.
Right.
They'll have something on their iPad, something on their computer, something on their phone. People will be chatting, people will be messaging. The same happens with radio many times. You're listening to it on your phone, but you're driving your car. Somebody's on their phone, somebody's listening to it on the radio. People like to do multiple things. They're not necessarily concentrating on one thing. But for us to give content, and content is king, is important.
मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि रेडियो शोज इन मेनी वेज वर द प्रीडिसेसर्स टू द पॉडकास्ट बिजनेस. यानी एक तरह से आप कॉन्वर्जेशंस वहीं से शुरू करते थे. अगर आपके मेहमान मौजूद हैं, सम पीपल यूज्ड टू लव द स्टाइल ऑफ एन आरजे. और टेलीविज़न के बरक्स कहा जाता था कि रेडियो पे आपकी एक बहुत यू कैन हैव अ लॉन्ग रन बिकॉज आपकी आवाज़ हमेशा के लिए होती है. आवाज़ एज नहीं करती. अगर आपके फैंस हैं सो दिल बी अराउंड. But what I've always appreciated about Radio 1, FM 91, I'll get a hang of calling it only FM 91 very soon. उसमें आपके पास हमेशा एक मिक्स होता था. So you had people just like you pointed out who were pure RJs. कि भाई उनका पहला और आखिरी प्यार शायद रेडियो ही है और वो अपने शो को एक ख़ास अंदाज में कंडक्ट करना चाहते हैं. And then there were celebrities, people who were well known, popular, people were aware of their name, their face, and you managed to get them to do radio, probably for many of them like myself for the first time.
Yeah.
ये conscious strategic decision है सारा.
So, I mean, you've heard of influencers these days. Back in the day, those were our influencers. And those are the people we tapped into. And we were actually probably one of the first and only radio stations to tap into celebrities back in the day. And these were young celebrities. These were young influencers. Naveen Vakar started her stint with radio with 96. Then she came to us. Annie started it with 89. Then she came to us. Khalid Malik, 89. Then he came to us. But by the time they came to us, there were seasoned RJs, some of them, and some of them started new.
Yes.
But they became influencers being on the radio also. Like Sophie, RJ Sophie became an influencer being on FM 91. I think she used the platform very well. I think having a celebrity on board is always a plus, and you want people, you already have a following. You want people to hear your message. You want people to tune into your shows. You want people to, your marketers to be able to say, "Acha, theek hai, at least we know that, it's going to get somewhere." It always helps.
अच्छा, जैसे हम कहते हैं टेलीविज़न में एक रेटिंग्स की रेस होती है. Very distinctly, FM 91 was positioned to play a lot of English music, a lot of international music. Again, conscious choice. This is back in the day जब हम early 2000s में अगर बात करते हैं, पाकिस्तान का अपना म्यूज़िक भी बहुत अच्छा था. बहुत सारे पॉप स्टार्स आ रहे थे. There used to be dedicated music channels for Pakistan as well. तो उनकी वीडियोज़ भी चल रही होती थी. बहुत पॉपुलर म्यूज़िक था. Why did you choose to play so much of foreign music at that time?
Believe it or not, there's not that much Urdu music.
अच्छा.
One. Two, we started playing a lot of Urdu music, and then there was a lull in the music industry when none of the musicians, I think, were getting paid enough or, had enough gigs. So there wasn't that much coming out. It's only in the past 5 years that we've suddenly had, I guess all the big brands weren't supporting music. They'd all gone to cricket. It's only in the past 5 or 6 years that music has done a revival. People are coming back. These younger musicians like the Hassan Reems and the Lahori ones, Natasha Noorani, etc. They've come up with new music. They're coming up with new music videos. And they're being supported by all of these technologies, which is why they're coming up with new stuff. But there was a time, and FM 91 has had its ins and outs. There was a time when we started playing a lot of Urdu music. But that Urdu music also had Indian music with it. So there was a variety of music.
Yes.
And then we had to switch out because there was a ban on Indian music and Urdu music was getting repetitive. And then, if there's about, let's say 12 channels in a city and all of them are playing the same music, you have to differentiate. You have to have something that discriminates you from everybody else or differentiates you from everybody else. And that was our choice. There was one other English channel. We decided that we would be the other one.
So Sara, आज there's a big following, like there's a huge segment of society, especially in Gen Z and the Alpha Zs, जो कि K-pop को बहुत पसंद करती है. What are your views on that?
We play K-pop.
You do?
And we play any music. Why not?
और उसकी है following है?
Yes.
उसकी फॉलोइंग है, लोग पसंद करते हैं उसको. बट वी ऑल्सो सी यू ऑन द बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स ऑफ द पाकिस्तान ब्रॉडकास्टर्स एसोसिएशन,
Yes,
PBA.
yes.
We need stronger women voices there. How happy are you with what we are broadcasting as stories?
I mean, I think they could be far more enlightened. I think we are stuck with this algorithm of dramas, that could be a little bit more progressive towards women, towards the many issues that face our society. I think our media is evolving, though. I think they're realizing that they are responsible for getting these messages across. And there's a lot of new artists and producers who are changing this narrative. They're improving on it. So let's see what the future holds. But देखें, आपकी आधी से ज़्यादा कौम uneducated है, और underprivileged है, और रूरल एरियाज़ में रहती है, जिनको यही कहानियाँ समझ आती हैं because that's their life. तो अभी हमें काफ़ी steps लेने हैं to kind of, make sure we're talking to them in a way that they understand while being progressive and educating them. But it's a tall task, and it will happen eventually, I hope. As long as there are no restrictions. I feel there's regulatory bodies that also put many restrictions on you, on what you can talk about, how you can talk about it, and what you can't talk about. But still, there is always room to, improve.
Sarah, when I look at your family and especially your parents' legacy, they have a very strong body of work when it comes to the creatives in Pakistan. They have a huge mark when it comes to the Pakistani industry. I often wonder कि आप जब अपने करियर को देखती हैं, do you think you chose this life or this life chose you?
This life definitely chose me.
So you had no other option but to be in the business of show business?
Well, I wanted to be an interior decorator or an architect because I went to an art school where friends of mine were studying architecture, and I was like, what is this? This is amazing. This is what I want to do. But I wasn't really given much of a choice, which is fine. It wasn't something that I was crying over, but I realized later on in life that, oh, wait, I could have done that. And I wish I'd done that.
When parents are so hugely successful, does that put a lot of pressure on children?
Of course. How can it not? I mean, that's, there's a lot of, how can I put it? Let's say there are big shoes to fill.
Yes.
There are big shoes to fill. There's a lot of expectations. They obviously, do compare themselves with what their children are doing. They've set up businesses. They've worked really hard. And it's like I said, it's big shoes. They're big shoes to fill.
तो फिर सवाल तो ये भी होता है ना सारा कि were you allowed to make your own mistakes?
Yes, I made a few. Yeah.
And how did you recover from them? What was your greatest learning? या बल्कि बात वहाँ से शुरू करते हैं, the decision in hindsight that you look back at and say, yeah, that was a faulty one.
I don't think I made decisions that I truly regret. I mean, maybe in my personal life, but not work-wise. I think work-wise it's been, maybe I could have been a little less arrogant. Humility is something I learned later on in life. When I was young, I was arrogant. I was full of myself. I thought I could rule the world. I thought I could do many things. I think as you get older, you realize that you can definitely be more humble. Humility is, it's something that comes with as a tough pill to swallow, and then you learn, oh, wait, Temper was something that I could have definitely controlled more of. Kindness is something I could have shown more of, which I try to do now. Those are the lessons that I would have gone back and taught myself if I
Now,
had known better.
is that also because you're the firstborn?
Probably. Probably.
आप ज़्यादा responsible होते हैं ना?
I don't know about zyada responsible, but definitely the one who gets the hard knocks, the one who has to learn the lessons fast. And then your parents learn those lessons through you. So they teach your siblings differently. Yeah.
Growing up, like, you're blessed with parents who are very forward-looking, very progressive. They've opened the doors and created opportunities for so many in Pakistan. Lekin, coming from a household of all girls, did you ever feel that growing up as a girl in the Pakistani society had its own challenges? या कहीं आपको लगा हो कि, it's sort of pulling you back in any way?
I think I felt that more as an adult than I felt that as a kid. Because when I was young, my father was like, everything, the world is your oyster. Do what you want. and I mean, obviously within certain, like boundaries, and parameters. But as an adult, when you're going out in the world, you see, especially as a female, you see that it's a very different kind of situation. Putting yourself out there, you see how vulnerable you can be. How much protection you need. So that's been a bit of a lesson to learn. But in my youth, I think I had much freedom.
Acha, aur what does family mean to you, Sarah? Especially now that you're a young mother as well. You have 2 young children.
Certainly not young, but I definitely have young children. Family is very important. I mean, it's your backbone. It's the basis of who you are when you get older. Having children was probably the best thing that ever happened to me. It softened me as a person. It made me realize a lot of things in life, how important they are, how valuable these relationships are.
मैं कल ही ये बात अपने शो पे भी कह रही थी कि अगर आप कॉन्ट्रैक्ट देखें रियासत पाकिस्तान का अपने सिटीजन से, उसमें एक बहुत बड़ा फ्लॉ है, एक बहुत बड़ा तजाद है कि इफ़ अ पाकिस्तानी मैन मैरी समवन हु इज़ नॉट अ पाकिस्तानी नेशनल, तो बड़ी आराम से उस शख्स को यहाँ की शहरियत मिल जाती है और वो नेचुरलाइज हो जाता है. जबकि ऑन द अदर हैंड इफ़ अ पाकिस्तानी वुमन मैरी समबडी ऑफ अनदर ऑरिजिन, यानी उनका मुल्क पाकिस्तान ना हो, तो कभी आपको शहरियत नहीं मिल सकती. When you were making a decision and you married somebody who's not from Pakistan, did that play out in any way? Does that mean you're packing your bags and you're leaving Pakistan, or how will it work out, Sarah?
So when I fell in love with this person, my husband, I didn't think of it. But when I was, getting my nikah done and leaving for the US, it fell upon me like a ton of bricks. Suddenly I felt like, oh my God, what have I done? And I'm going to be in another country. I'm going to be, in a foreign space that isn't my own. I'm going to be away from my family. That's a very big, jump to take. Yeah.
तो सारा, did you have the luxury, like many girls, कि उनको लगता है ना कि शादी हुई, now we're beginning a new chapter. You being the firstborn, coming from a family of all girls, being the eldest, could you just get up and leave?
Get up and leave where?
To be outside of Pakistan.
I did. I left for 8 years and then we decided to come back.
And what inspired you to come back?
I think my husband was more keen on coming back than I was at this point. I was still working in Pakistan. I would come back and forth. But my husband saw a lot of opportunity in Pakistan in the health field. And he said, why don't we go and explore this for a little while? And so we moved back. And I think the move has been great for us in the sense that my kids are growing up next to their grandparents, alongside my sisters. The network we have here is fantastic. The friends we have here are amazing. The help we have here they're like family. So the work I get to do is awesome. So for us in that respect, it's been fantastic. But as a foreigner, for my husband, it's been tough. And that's basically just in business. Otherwise, he loves it. But यहाँ काम करना बहुत मुश्किल होता है. And it's a learning curve for him. उसको 6 साल लगे हैं to understand कि पाकिस्तान चलता कैसे है. It's not straightforward. जैसे in the US आप कुछ बोलें कि आपको कल पैसे मिलेंगे तो कल पैसे मिल जाते हैं. पाकिस्तान में अगर आप बोलें कल पैसे मिलेंगे तो आपको 3 महीने बाद मिलते हैं. तो ये यहाँ की है बीमारी. हम एक चीज़ कहते हैं और दूसरी चीज़ करते हैं. हम एक चीज़ प्रॉमिस करते हैं और दूसरी चीज़ करते हैं. And it's because of several factors that affect us also. So it is how it is. And he, for him, all the entertaining and chai pilana, samosa khilana, he wasn't used to it. एक दफ़ा कर लो अमेरिका में डील साइन हो गई तो हो गई. यहाँ आप 6 दफ़ा जाते हैं चाय पीने के लिए, 50 दफ़ा जाते हैं डील साइन करने के लिए, फिर उसके बाद आप फाइनली डील साइन करते हैं. That situation, that was something, it was a learning curve for him. So
it was a learning curve for him, and I'm sure for the entire family, but people would be curious. I'm curious, where did you meet him and how did you fall in love?
That's for a more personal conversation. I met him in New York, though, through friends.
So how did you decide? I mean, what I'm trying to understand, and I'm sure will be helpful to our viewers, कि हमारे यहाँ जो ख़वातीन headstrong हैं, leadership positions में हैं, what would your advice be when they're choosing a life partner? Because you're basically choosing a companion for life, the person you'll be traveling with, raising a family with, probably sharing the most number of meals with. किन चीज़ों का ख्याल रखें?
So again, family values are very important. And one of the things that my husband had and exhibited right in the beginning was family values. You know, the other thing that I never thought of but it has become important is religion. I think having religious values, maybe not even the same religion, but having religious values which assimilate is nice, or like, you know, are similar is nice. It's important. Then knowing how you want to raise your children, what you want from them, and what kind of parent you want to be. That's very important. Finances are highly important. You should know what your financial status is. Falling in love is wonderful, but if you don't know what you're going to do financially or what they're doing, or if you don't have a plan, it makes it very tough. Then I think the rest you can kind of figure out. I got very lucky. My husband is, you know, beloved by my friends and family. So in that way, and he really made an effort, and is a family person. So he really made an effort with everybody in my family and friends, which has been fantastic. So those things mattered to me.
You are headstrong and ambitious, and I mean it as a compliment. Is that difficult for women who are ambitious in Pakistan to, you know, deal with marriage and keep everything going, the work-life balance?
The work-life balance is difficult for any woman, especially when you have children. It depends on how supportive your family and your husband are. You know, a supportive husband really helps, because then you can pursue your work and your life and be a mom. My husband's very supportive. I'm very lucky like that. But a husband who doesn't support, or a man who doesn't support, or a family that doesn't support a woman's career choices or, you know, drive, they can really hinder her success. So it's very important that you find the right partner for you who won't hold you back, you know, who want to see you succeed. That it's a very different thing to allow a woman to succeed and to want them to succeed and to want to cheer them on.
And that's a very fine difference what you've pointed out, कि बड़ी नाजुक सी एक लकीर है जिसके इस तरफ आप ठीक है, आप ज़बानी कलामी भी कहते हैं कि हाँ यार मैं चाहता हूँ कि तुम प्रोग्रेस करो, but in reality your attitude, how enabling the environment is, it's a different story altogether. When it comes to your own children, you mentioned that they have softened you, motherhood has softened you. Parenting style के बारे में क्या कहेंगे Sarah? Do you think you're more like your mom, or do you have your own parenting style?
You know, I don't know. I can't say. Obviously, you want to be a better parent than your parents, but your children will always turn around, from what I've heard, and say you weren't good enough. So hopefully, you know, what I do with my kids is I show them a lot of love. That's what I can do. I have wonderful children who I can show, you know, hugs and kisses and love and attention and giggles and laughter. I think I'm far less conservative than my mom was with me about, you know, about conversations, about sharing. I think my mom was a little reserved when she was younger, because that's what she'd experienced. With me, you know, my daughter's like my friend. She's 8. So we have lots of conversations about different things. My son, you know, he's 4. So he's still a baby. I'm still kind of figuring him out. But yeah, I mean, my parenting style, I did learn from my dad, was that more playful you are, you know, the more you tell stories and have conversations, I think the better you have time as a parent, and the better your children accept you.
Sarah, another thing we notice is कि जितना भी content create किया जा रहा है, उसके लिए कहते हैं कि attention span कम से कम होता जा रहा है. The algorithm is anywhere between 3 to 4 minutes कि जी उतने में impact करना है. पहले 10 सेकेंड important है. Viewership graphs को अगर हम देखते हैं तो वो 20 seconds के बाद dip down करता है. In an age and, you know, at a time when we are so attention deficient, तो कैसे हम, you know, how do you hook people onto keen listenership? Yeah, is there nothing as keen listenership anymore?
Keen listenership, I think, depends on what your preferences are.
Okay.
So if you're playing a certain kind of music, people will tune in and maybe stay tuned. If they enjoy a certain RJ, they will stay tuned and tune in again and again. If they have a certain time frame that they like to listen to radio in, that's when they'll keep coming back. So I think keen listenership is based on preferences, yeah.
And news has no place in FM radio.
हम अपने रेडियो स्टेशन पर न्यूज़ चलाते थे और चलाते हैं, और दूसरे रेडियो स्टेशंस भी करते हैं. आई मीन आपके पास इतने सारे चैनल्स हैं अभी न्यूज़ के, और आपके पास इतने सारे एवेन्यूज़ हैं जो न्यूज़ आपको दे रही हैं, जो सारे टेक्नोलॉजी बेस्ड हैं, और आपके पास न्यूज़पेपर्स हैं, मैगज़ीन्स हैं, तो न्यूज़ तो आपको कॉन्स्टेंटली मिल रही होती है किसी ना किसी तरह। अगर कोई रेडियो पर सुन रहा है तो हम अपडेट्स देने की कोशिश करते हैं, मगर यूजुअली हम म्यूज़िक के साथ ही रहते हैं, एंटरटेनमेंट रखते हैं, कीप इट लाइट। बट न्यूज़ की जगह है, अगर आप चाहें तो सब दे रहे होते हैं।
सही। और अगर गोइंग बैक टू योर रोल एंड योर इनपुट देयर एट द पाकिस्तान ब्रॉडकास्टर्स एसोसिएशन, आपने कहा कि स्टोरी टेलिंग बेहतर हो सकती है, ज़्यादा एम्बिशियस प्रोग्रेसिव हो सकती है, इतनी स्टीरियोटिपिकल होने की वजह नहीं है। सो इफ़ यू कुड मेक वन चेंज ओनली, व्हाट वुड दैट बी?
I think I would tell the scriptwriters to write slightly more, not to make a woman appear helpless, and not to make the modern woman appear like she's some kind of villain, which has happened a few times. And to give nuance, because every character is nuanced, and I think that needs to be shown. Dialogue can be less verbose. Yeah.
डू यू थिंक लाइक इफ़ यू लुक एट द स्टोरी टेलिंग, और जैसे हम पहले भी बात कर रहे थे कि कई सेलिब्रिटीज़ डेडिकेटेड टाइम एंड बिकेम वेरी पॉपुलर आरजेज और रेडियो पर्सनैलिटीज़। अब एक मसला जो मैं अक्सर अपने टॉक शो में भी देखती हूँ कि अ लॉट ऑफ सेलिब्रिटीज़ आर अमेजिंग व्हेन इट कम्स टू एक्टिंग एंड फॉलोइंग अ स्क्रिप्ट, बट हैविंग अ कॉन्वर्जेशन इज़ डिफरेंट. And I feel that somewhere along the line we are losing the art of having a conversation. Do you somehow feel that way? And especially when you're interviewing so many new RJs or established faces, कि वो जो अपने आप से बात करना है, आप अकेले होते हैं, आपने interact करना है, and you need to have substance, you need to have content. How would you fare the new entrants in the radio business, in the show business, कि वो in terms of substance and conversation कहाँ stand करते हैं?
I mean, some people are just pretty faces, who've been given a platform. And some people actually care about the content that they're putting forward. I think वो बहुत ज़रूरी है कि अपना रिसर्च कर आएँ और अपनी रिसर्च पर बात करें, या एटलीस्ट आपको उस फील्ड में एक्सपर्ट हों जिसमें आप बात करना चाह रहे हैं. I mean, conversation, I don't think there's a depth to conversation. I think there's been a change in the kind of people you're bringing forward. And also, right, like you said, the question that you had asked, कि content आप 3 मिनट का देखते हैं लोग, लोगों की अटेंशन स्पैन भी बहुत छोटी हो गई है. तो जो भी आपने इन्फॉर्मेशन देनी है वो सोच समझ के देनी है, और लोगों की इंटरेस्ट पर, अगेन इट्स अबाउट प्रेफरेंसेस, कि अगर आप इंस्टाग्राम का एल्गोरिदम देख लें, आपको जो चीज़ अच्छी लगेगी उसी की कहानी आएगी अगेन एंड अगेन इन डिफरेंट फॉर्म्स, और वो आप देखते जाएंगे और आप बोलते रहे हाँ मुझे इंस्टाग्राम पर बड़ा मज़ा आ रहा है. अगर पैलेस्टाइन की बात है तो पैलेस्टाइन पर कहानी आती रहेगी, आप देखते रहेंगे. तो वो आपकी प्रेफरेंस है, वो आपकी चॉइस है. तो जो भी आगे जाकर बात करना चाहता है रेडियो या टीवी पर, वो जाने जिस चीज़ की बात कर रहा है. और अगर आपने शो होस्ट करना है तो आपने अपनी रिसर्च तो करनी है, ताकि कोई आपके सामने बैठे आपको पता हो कि वो क्या बात कर रहे हैं.
आई रिमेंबर यू हैविंग अ वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग चेक ऑन दैट, कि आप बेशक, यानी ऐसा कोई सेंसरशिप नहीं थी कि ये इस मौजू पे बात नहीं हो सकती, अगर वेरीफाइड बात हो, अगर आप कोई इन्फॉर्मेशन पास ऑन कर रहे हैं तो वो क्रेडिबल सोर्स की हो. लेकिन दीज डेज अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स विच आर बीइंग सेड एंड लिटरली उसका एक एवलांच आपको नज़र आता है, वो ओपिनियंस हैं.
जी, तो आजकल हमें प्रॉब्लम है कि लोगों के ओपिनियंस बहुत आई मीन मेरे भी ये सब ओपिनियंस हैं, बट हाँ, there's a problem with that, but when you give people platform, you do expect opinions.
लेकिन मुझे जहाँ पे प्रॉब्लम थोड़ा सा होता है, एंड सारा नेवर हैड अ कॉन्वर्जेशन अबाउट दिस, लेकिन मुझे लगता है कि पॉपुलर मेल सेलिब्रिटीज एट टाइम्स आर वेरी इररिस्पॉन्सिबल विद देयर कमेंट्स, एंड दैट ओपन्स अप अ
That's
Pandora's
not just
box.
male celebrities though.
Really?
No,
You feel
I mean,
women as well?
no, male politicians, women
Public
as well,
figures.
public figures, they have been given a platform. Either they'll come with an agenda or they'll, have opinions. It's very natural. That's human nature. And there's no checks and balances. I mean, if you look abroad, there's a lot of people, and especially now that everybody and anybody can access social media and can give their 2 bits on social media, they do, because human beings are opinionated creatures, whether you like it or not. तो वो तो करेंगे, क्यों नहीं करेंगे? आप उनको प्लेटफॉर्म दे दिया कि यार आप यूट्यूब है, आपको जो बनाना है बनाओ, तो करेंगे लोग। आकर बोलेंगे कि भाई मैं तो समझता हूँ कि द अर्थ इज़ फ्लैट. I mean, there are people who think the earth is flat. There's a whole club of them. They were very shocked when they found out that it wasn't.
बट मार्च इज़ अराउंड द कॉर्नर, और मार्च में 8 मार्च को ख़ास तौर पे हम एक दो तरह की सोच का एक ऑलमोस्ट कॉन्फ्लिक्ट, एक टकराव देखते हैं. पीपल हु थिंक फेमिनिज्म इज़ अ बैड वर्ड एंड दे थिंक कि पता नहीं क्या बात की जा रही है, पाकिस्तान के ख़ानदानी निज़ाम को, हमारी सोसाइटी को, हमारे सोशल फैब्रिक को बड़ा ख़तरा है. एंड यू नो, very extreme views. Where do you stand on that, and how do you react to what people have to say about
I
it?
obviously do not stand with the extreme views.
हाँ.
पाकिस्तान की आई थिंक प्रॉब्लम यही है कि उन्होंने औरतों को एजुकेट करके वर्कफोर्स में नहीं डाला है, और हमारी मिसोजिनी की भी प्रॉब्लम है, हमारी डोमेस्टिक अब्यूज़ एंड वायलेंस की भी प्रॉब्लम है. हम अगर औरतों को अभी एजुकेट करके आगे खड़ा करें और बढ़ाएं हमारी वर्कफोर्स में, वी विल बी इकोनॉमिकली मच बेटर, और GDP विल बी मच बेटर. सो इफ़ एनीबडी सेज के feminism abroad, what is feminism in Pakistan? Feminism is standing for equal rights. Feminism in Pakistan is standing against domestic abuse. Feminism in Pakistan is standing for underprivileged women and minorities. So that's what feminism means. I think जो extremists हैं उन्होंने ये समझ लिया है कि जीन्स ख़राब चीज़ हैं, और जीन्स पहनकर अगर लड़की फिरती है तो वो ऐसी होगी वैसी होगी. ये आपने क्यों सोचा है? और वो फेमिनिस्ट है तो फेमिनिस्ट ख़राब है, क्यों ख़राब है? फेमिनिस्ट अपनी राइट्स मांग रही है. फेमिनिज्म जो होता है पाकिस्तान में, वो तो अपनी राइट्स मांग रहे हैं कि उनके साथ सलूक सही हो, कि उनको स्कूल जाने का मौका मिले, कि उनको यूनिवर्सिटी जाने का मौका मिले, तो उनको वोटिंग राइट्स मिले, उनके घर में उनको मासी बनाकर ना रखा जाए.
अच्छा, हमने बहुत बात की है लिसनरशिप के हवाले से कि लोगों में सुनने की, अटेंशन देने की, फोकस करने की सकत है या नहीं, और इज़ दैट डिक्रीजिंग ओवर टाइम. लेकिन द स्पेस टू स्पीक अप, to actually be able to voice opinions which may be unpopular, which may not be agreeing with the cultural nuance, या थोड़ा सा मुख्तलिफ है या फ्रिक्शनल हो सकते हैं, उसकी कितनी स्पेस है सारा? एंड डू यू एट टाइम्स ट्राई टू टेल योर आरजेस कि भाई सेफ्टी ओवर एवरीथिंग एल्स, प्लीज़ बात करें, संभल कर करें?
I have to tell my RJs कि संभाल के बात करें. We have regulations, obviously. But for the most part, we've had situations where somebody's talked about a male-female relationship and it's turned into a big issue. We've had situations where we've been told you can't broadcast this or broadcast that. But for the most part, I think, you have to be sensitive to your audience. You have to understand that you live in a country that's conservative. You can't talk about all the things you want to talk about. But if you see a younger population, they are dressing the way they want to, at least in the ones who are more liberal. They are playing the music they want to. They are singing about what they want to. So I don't think, I think हमने तो मना नहीं किया है, मगर हम obviously advise करते हैं कि आप sensitive हो अपने audience के साथ.
And as somebody who's taking the big picture view of it, आपको लगता है कि वो space कम हो रही है, कि where people can be vocal and they can challenge a certain societal behavior or thought only because we must evolve and things must be questioned? यानी हमें सब चीज़ों पे सवाल उठाने का इख्तियार है. Is there freedom of expression?
Well, I think there is. I think there is, providing you do it within certain boundaries. You have to be sensitive, like I said, to the people that you're having conversations with or about. I think it's very important that, we remember that, because if you are hurting someone while you're saying something which needs to be said, it's also counterproductive.
Yeah. मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि my television career began with TV1, कि जितने पोलराइज्ड हम आज हैं शायद हम कभी भी नहीं थे सारा. और हमारी पोलराइजेशन के साथ साथ जो एक डबल एज सॉर्ड है कि वी आर ऑल्सो वेरी इंटॉलरेंट टूवर्ड्स अ कन्फ्लिक्टिंग और एन ऑपोजिट व्यू. हमें लगता है कि अगर हम सही हैं और अगले बंदे का जो ख्याल है वो हमसे मुख्तलिफ है तो वो गलत है. इस सही गलत की जंग से हम कैसे निकल सकते हैं?
देखिए, वो तो पूरी दुनिया में हो रहा है और सबके साथ हो रहा है.
सही.
I think tolerance is a hard thing to have, And most people find it very hard to accept somebody else's point of view. It takes a lot of evolution and self-awareness to do that. And even someone like me, I have differing views from my husband, and it's very hard for me to accept his point of view sometimes. I mean, and it's very natural. That's humanity. We all have to work on ourselves, I think, to be able to do that, and that's going to take some time.
And do you think radio, if you compare it to the other media, has a slight edge over bringing up these sensitive issues, creating space, safe spaces for them to be, discussed, spoken about? जैसे हम बात करते हैं बहुत सारे health issues की, जिनके बारे में अगर आपने awareness raise करनी है, तो in the privacy of your home, you could be listening to a radio show, and it's easier, it's a safer space in some ways.
Radio is a public space, but it can be your own private, safe space. That depends on where you listen to it, how you listen to it, and what you listen to. And yeah, it's one of the best mediums to spread awareness. But yeah, I mean, I think radio provides you with all the, educational material that you are seeking. But just depends on when it airs it and who's
And you're a
talking
solemn
about it.
believer that it's not a sunset industry. It is here to stay, and it has many usages and a lot of benefits, and it will continue
Unless
to grow.
some new technology comes along, for the time being, I think we're here to stay. But it is an expensive technology, and it is an expensive business for what it's using. But unless something new comes along, some new technology, for the time being, at least in third world countries, radio is integral to the ecosystem.
Sarah, my final question to you would be, for those of my viewers who would be interested in becoming RJs and would love to try their hand in radio business, what would your advice be? ऐसी कोई 3 qualities जो आपके अंदर होनी चाहिए if you want to be a successful radio personality?
You have to remember that it's not about you, it's about your audience. You have to remember that that's the most important. You have to remember that you can be confident and bright and chirpy because you are that person that people are tuning into. And they want that, that happy vibe, that escape from their lives for a few minutes. And you cannot talk too much. I mean, I still advise it, like, unless you're having a conversation with someone, unless you're talking to multiple people, just keep it to music, keep it to entertaining people, right? So if you have something funny to say, something intelligent to say, something informative to say it. But after that, remember that they're tuning in for the music too. Unless, of course, you're having a competition or talking to somebody about a topic, on a topic.
Don't waste airtime.
Yes.
Less talk, more music.
Well, intelligent talk and lots of music. I think that's what it's evolved to now.
I think that's brilliantly put. One advice, again, women who are aiming to be in a leadership position and would like to continue seeing growth and development and ambition, are ambitious about their careers. Unke liye ek advice, because you're doing a fantastic job. It might look very different from the inside, but from where we have, hamare vantage point se lagta hai कि you have this perfect work-life balance. You're more composed, just like you said, motherhood and companionship both have changed you for the better. And you have, mashallah, so much experience. So would love to hear your thoughts for women who are tuned in and would love to know कि हम जब आहिस्ता आहिस्ता ये corporate ladder चढ़ रहे हैं तो हमें किन चीज़ों को, किन attitudes को, किन traits को cultivate करना चाहिए.
I was very lucky that I have reached this corporate ladder because of support by my dad. I mean, he is the one who set it up for me. So I don't know what the struggle is to climb the corporate ladder. I know a little bit, but I don't know it as well as most women. So kudos to someone like you who's actually worked her way up. I mean, I've worked too, but I didn't have to climb the ladder in that respect. Work-life balance, I think that's a struggle every woman has who has children or who's juggling multiple jobs and multiple appointments, or, who has a husband. That is something that I think women need to support women in such instances. We need to be the biggest support for women. I realized that again later in life. Because again, when I was young, I thought I was everything. Now I know that, okay. It takes a village to raise a family. It takes a village to run a company. And And work-life balance, if you think something's perfect, it isn't necessarily perfect. It's hard. It's hard not feeling guilty as a mother. It's hard, you question yourself every day because you have people working for you. The decisions you take affect many. I'm very lucky that I have a very supportive team, always have had a very supportive team, from wonderful RJs like yourself to many, many people who've gone through through FM 91. I've been a horrible boss, I've been a good boss, but I'm really proud of everybody who's worked for us. So it has helped. I've been very lucky in that respect. I've found some amazing people to go along this journey with me.
अच्छा, हमारे यहाँ तो वैसे ज़्यादा बात नहीं होती. जस्ट अ सेगवे लास्ट क्वेश्चन. मुझे ये बताएं कि एज अ सेकंड जनरेशन मीडिया लीडर or somebody in a media leadership position, were you ever charged of nepotism?
No,
नहीं.
no, not really.
You still had to earn your spot. You still had to earn.
Yes, I mean, if anybody knows my father, he knows how tough he is. They know how tough he is. It's, I'm still vying for certain spots that he has yet to release to me or give me. But, it was not it was not easy getting to the position of CEO. I had to really prove myself. And sometimes, what people don't realize, and I had a friend actually do this to me, where a friend actually told me that, oh, I've earned my position, you were given it. And that hurt me because I was like, do you know how hard it is to work with your family or to work with your father? And do you know how hard it is to work with a parent who's been very successful and who's, made it from nothing? And being a woman, it's not easy.
It's a different kind of hard, though.
It's a different kind of struggle. Because you're now dealing with somebody you can't disappoint because they're your family. And if you do it, it weighs heavy on you. You just can't walk away from that job, right? And then you have to deal with a lot of political things happening, people not wanting you to succeed or people not wanting you to get ahead because, it might affect their position.
Did you inherit your parents' baggage as well? Because,
Of
as
course.
somebody who's, my father was also there at PTV. तो मुझे लगता था कि जब मैं PTV में काम करती थी, there would be people who loved working with my dad and there were others who had some bone to pick with him. तो मुझे लगता है कि एक चीज़ जिसके बारे में ज़्यादा बात नहीं होती कि आप कई relationships को और उनकी dynamics को inherit भी करते हैं.
Of course. वो तो होता है, हाँ.
है ना?
वो समझते हैं कि ये ताहिर साहब की बेटी हैं, अगर ताहिर साहब ने मेरे साथ ये किया है तो ये भी इनकी fault है.
अब इनकी बारी है.
And I was like, भाई देखें, we're two different people. Yes, we are in the same company, but don't wish me negatively because you've had a negative experience. Things were different back then, things are different now. But fortunately, I think my sister is now running into Flow Communication, so she's getting more positive feedback. It does help that but yeah, I mean,
was it hard to say no to your father? Because I see you as a doting daughter. He's definitely a doting father. और आपने जैसे शुरू में कहा कि अलग तरह की struggle होती है. शुरू में, did you ever carry this fear of disappointing him? Did you ever have the inability to say no to him?
Always.
Always.
Always. That's just natural. I think daughters do that. We carry that mantle of never wanting to disappoint. Of course, I was very rebellious too. Which gave me the ability to say no a couple of times, but never in the bigger matters. When he said go to film school, I said, okay, let's do it. When he said come back to Pakistan, don't live in the US, I was like, okay. When he said, come and work for Interflow, okay. When he said, okay, now you can do radio, okay. So, I mean, I always thought he knew best, which is why I always listened to him. There's been very few things that I've actually said no to. And there's very few things that he says no to, even though he says no all the time, but
But that's a remarkable equation to have.
I mean, when I brought my husband, an American, Lebanese, to Pakistan, he was the first person to greet him. Because he said, this is a choice my daughter's made, this is a choice she's going to have. Nobody will stand in her way. So he has never said no to me either. When I wanted to switch colleges, go from California to RISD, school in Providence, he was the one who said, even though he said no initially, then he was the one who said, no, I'm going to make it happen. So he's never really said no to me either.
So Sarah, let me close this beautiful conversation with asking you, what's the one thing that you feel is the biggest lesson and the most valuable lesson your father has taught you?
Wow. I think I'm still learning many lessons from him. containing your temper, and I'm quite one temperamental and I have quite the temper. I think that's one thing it took me a while to kind of harness, or it took me a while to contain. But that's the one thing he's always been trying to teach me. And the other one is, of course, managing people, how to manage people. Yes, just yesterday he gave me a tip, which was quite interesting, which I cannot share here because it was about some business that we're working on. But, I was like, yes, I never thought of it that way. So he's constantly teaching me lessons.
He's constantly challenging your way of thinking and adding more avenues to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Sarah, for making time for us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Such a brilliant note. I mean, we talk about the struggles, the ease, but the lessons, I mean, the principles that parents give you that you sort of carry forward. And the two things you mentioned, I mean, not losing your temper or harnessing it to your advantage and managing people. Of course, I think that has been the true hallmark when it comes to Tahir Khan himself. So once again, thank you very much for making time. And of course, this is it from us. Comments and feedback zarur bhejiyega. Do let me know what do you think of this series of conversations. I think they're very, very close to my heart. So would love to know what's your take on them as well. Until next time, take good care of yourself. Khuda Hafiz.